Hey, I'm here today with Mondo from the band SYNOBYTE out of Texas. How's it going?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you for having me today. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, so you guys just randomly showed up on my feed as a band. You're like a just starting out band, is that right?
Yeah, our first show was played January 30th of this year, actually. We formed back in November,
Gotcha.
but we've really started kind of coming in around this year.
Yeah, so brand new. So showed up on my feed and I really liked it. What you had out so far, and then I also noticed you're also a cosplayer, which is kind of a rare thing for us to see is cosplayers also being lead singers in bands. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that. Let's get to know the band a little more. Kind of tell me where the origins of that came from, where you started, how you guys met. Was it? I think if I looked at your socials, it looked like it might have been another band before.
Yeah, so I met Cooper because we're both fans of a band called we like a lot of other bands, but what really spotted him out to me was he had a T-shirt of this band called Puncture, which our mutual friend Rick Perry formed here in Arlington. It was a very kind of I think they described themselves as like cyber thrash, very heavy industrial music, very very heavy. Um, and I noticed he had that shirt. I'm like, oh my goodness, somebody else who knows what Puncture is. And we just started talking and all that, and we had very similar ideas on what we wanted to do. We're both huge Ministry fans, Skinny Puppy, KMFDM. Those are the big three that we're both mutual fans of. And we just he was sending me some of the stuff he was working on, and I thought it was really interesting because there's not a lot of an industrial scene here in DFW anymore. It's kind of it's predominantly groove metal and hardcore and stuff like that. Punk rock, of course, still pretty prevalent here. There's not really any industrial bands that come out of here. There's some dark wave. That's really about it. And so we just said, let's make the most intense industrial band we can think of, and we just sort of clicked on everything. I wrote him some lyrics, and that's how our first song came about. And that was already back in November that song released. It released a few days before Thanksgiving, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's happening pretty quickly. So what was the first show like? Where'd you have that at? How'd that go?
We played at the Haltom Metal Fest, and we really lucked out. I don't know, like, because, like, I mean, we know the promoter, but we don't know him terribly well. You know what I mean? Like, we don't hang out with him or anything like that. We don't chat him up. If we were just another band that was on the bill, and he knew of us. And we got like the perfect spot. So there's two stages in the Haltom Theater. There's the main stage, and then there's the side stage. And miraculously, we got the main stage, which is this big thing, big screen behind you. It has the best sound in the house. And miraculously, we got that in a perfect time slot. I think the show went on from about 5 p.m. to 11:30, I think, something like that. We were right square dab in the middle at 9 o'clock. So with the most people there, it just all the stars aligned. It was an excellent show, first show. Um, and we just went up there and we did it, and we brought out our his friend, who I've also since gotten to know, is a really good buddy of mine named Aaron Scott from Vivid and Vulgar. We did a song with him live. He pretended to kill me on stage. He slit my throat on stage, which was a lot of fun. I built basically like this rig with a pump on the handle to when you would pull it across, you would pump the handle, blood would come out all over my throat. It was a lot of fun. And we ended it with a Skinny Puppy cover of Assimilate, which was our big crowd pleaser sort of deal. For the people that knew of that, the people who
Right,
listened to that
right.
kind of music, they were very pleased to hear the that cover. And yeah, overall, it was just a really good show. We got a lot of people hitting us up after that, telling us how much they enjoyed it.
Right on. And so, did you the theatrics you're doing on stage? Was that has that been informed by your cosplay, or like how did you are you building any of the props and sets that you're doing for?
For the most part, yeah, I build everything. I have a very like Slipknot approach to the way I build props. I take pre-existing stuff and I just kind of use it to my own kind of discretion, or I'll modify stuff to turn it into something else. It's a very, yeah, kind of DIY mentality. Um, and the a lot of it just comes from my love of theatrics. I mean, obviously, um, it comes a lot from Skinny Puppy. I'm a massive fan of Skinny Puppy. I've seen them multiple times. Like, I'm not afraid to admit my inspirations. A lot of it does come from them. It also comes from when I was a kid. I still am a massive fan of Alice Cooper. I'm a huge Alice Cooper fan. Guar, I've seen Guar a handful of times. I love Guar. I love it when people can, give a show on top of the really good, if the music's good, of course, on top of that, having a really good stage show. Because it's like, even if people don't like the music, they can go home and talk about the show and stuff like that. And also, it's just a reflection of how I feel at the time. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very healthy outlet, kind of letting out this aggression on stage. Because in real life, I'm a very mild-mannered person. I'm very quiet. I'm very reserved and try to be as articulate as I can. But when I go on stage, it's like I can release all that negative energy I have, and in a way that is it's helpful, because it's not only are you expelling a little bit, you're also entertaining people at the same time and giving them a good show. And yeah, a lot of it does come from my cosplay experience, because I build most of my own cosplays. Like with 3D printers and Etsy becoming a thing now, it's like building your own cosplays is kind of it's like an extra step in what do you call it? The effort of building them. So a lot of it comes from that still.
Do you have 3D printers? Are you printing stuff yourself?
Oh no, I still make everything out of like craft foam. I template everything and cut it. Actually, I can show you one piece I did recently. I did this for WeebCon this year. This is Reze the Bomb Devil's helmet from Chainsaw Man, and it snaps together. This is all craft foam cut up from a template. There's a little flap to open up so I could see out of it. All the teeth are in there, the fins in the back. This is all cut foam. So that's kind of where a lot of my ideology comes from. It's very DIY. I like doing everything myself, sort of deal.
Sure. So if you had like a unlimited budget, what do you think your favorite cosplay would be to put together?
Oh my goodness. That's difficult. Probably like a hyper accurate Metal Gear Solid 3 Naked Snake costume. All accurate military fatigues, replica, Mark 23 Hush Puppy, all vintage military gear, like the parachute straps and all that stuff and all that equipment. I would love to do that. Or a super accurate version of Freddy from Freddy vs. Jason, where he's got I would love a really nice silicone mask, custom dentures, hand prosthetics, really nice glove, probably from Terra Gloves or something like that. That's definitely one of them, because Freddy vs. Jason is just so much fun of a movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Classic. So how's the con scene over in Texas? Like when did you kind of get into that side of embracing your nerd side?
So I've been going to cons for 18 years now. I started going to cons in 2008. It was a convention called Fright Fest. My mother has been taking me to cons since I was a child. And we went there, and funny enough, because he's kind of a meme now, my first ever autograph was Corey Feldman. That's the peak himself, Corey Feldman.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of Felder abuse on the internet right
now. But yeah, he was the first. I met the entire cast of like Friday the 13th Part 5, and it was an excellent experience. And the next year, we went to a convention that has blown up so much, and I still go to every year, Texas Frightmare Weekend. And we went the next year in 2009, and I met Alice Cooper that year. That was the whole reason we went, was to meet Alice Cooper. And we just started going every year after that. And now, 17 years later, I just did my 11th year as a volunteer. I volunteer there now. I don't even go as an attendant anymore. I work the panel team, and then but yeah, my 17th year going to Texas Frightmare, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then I also started going to anime cons in the early 2010s, back when they were small. And that's another thing that's blown up crazy, because back then anime cons, they would have one corner of the hotel for themselves, and then the other half is for some other convention. They didn't even get the full hotels at the time, or the convention centers. You'd be lucky if you got a corner. And now anime cons, I went to WeebCon, like I was mentioning there this year, and now they're selling out the Gaylord Hotel and Resort in Grapevine, and it's this big thing, and it just blows my mind to see how much these things have blown into this proportion, how popular the scene has got. It's kind of surreal in a way.
It is. I mean, I grew up as a kid in the comic book shops, and everyone, I got made fun of for being a nerd. And now the pop culture scene is exploding everywhere. Thank you, Marvel.
Marvel movies are $1 billion industry now.
I mean, it is. It's brought all the tourists in, and they all want to be, and now they all want to be nerds, like, and the goth scene is very similar. They're very on the
It
same
is, yeah.
level. Goth back in the day got stuff thrown at you when you were walking down the street and called
Literally.
names. And now everybody, Pretty Hate Machine came out, and every frat boy wanted to be industrial.
No, and it's the same thing now with the TikTok generation. Like I don't use that much social media. I use a little bit of Instagram just for band stuff, but for the most part, I stay away from it. I try to live as much in analog as I can. I listen to vinyl. I have VHS, Blu-ray, DVD. I try to do everything. If I have to stream a movie, I will. Um, but for the most part, like I try to stay away from socials and streaming and all this stuff, just because it's like to see like goth get TikTokified and all that. I'm like, oh my god, this is what I used to be made fun of for in middle school, and now everybody, oh, I love goth culture and all that. But if you try to ask them, who's Exmel Deutschland or who's Rosetta Stone or something like that, they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but it's been great. I mean, goth nights all over the country are doing well. Every goth night in Florida is doing great. I think
Mm-hmm.
the scene is kind of everywhere right now. It's something to see for sure.
It's still real goths too. I went to Charlie Star Lounge in Dallas back in August, and it was an experience. They were playing nothing but classic goth hits and EBM, and it was all these people who knew what was playing and stuff like that. It was really beautiful to see. It was a lot of fun. You could go there and just dance for hours and get lost in it.
Yeah, absolutely. So how does back to the band? I guess is how uh what's the future for that? Do you have any plans, or are you just sort of freewheeling it to see what happens?
We're kind of freewheeling it right now, but we have a basic outline going on right now. We're trying to get some time to get an EP properly recorded with somebody, like with a producer or something like that, someone to kind of guide us. Because, the few singles we have released have all been self-produced by Cooper himself, and we're trying our best to kind of get that as much a professional sound as we can get out of the band, as full a sound as we can get, and some proper recording time. We're hoping to record an EP that's going to be called Ghost Babel pretty soon. And it's going to be, we're trying to find that perfect mix because right now we're kind of in a weird in between of where some of our songs are very, like Cooper's very much, and I like heavy music as well, but Cooper's much more mindset is into the heavier side of things. I'm much more, I love Throbbing Gristle and Skinny Puppy, Cabaret Voltaire, portion control, stuff like that. So we're kind of trying to figure out the perfect blend between those two. And I think we're finding it right now. We're trying to find that perfect blend of heavy and avant-garde atmospheric that I'm trying to look for. And I think we're hitting that. So we should be hopefully hitting the studio soon to record our EP. And some of it's going to be pre-existing material. Other parts of it is going to be brand new material. Um, and that will be our first major release. And then next thing we know is that we're going to be trying to ship our stuff out to record labels. I already know that I want to try to hit up Metropolis Records, Black Artifact, the last few pure industrial, pure electronic labels that are out there. We're gonna try to hit up.
So let's hear your socials for the band. What are the best places for people to connect with the music project online?
Oh, best place is definitely going to be Instagram or Facebook. Just shoot us a DM. Both me and Cooper have access to the Instagram, so we can read messages whenever. And yeah, we're very quick to respond. We don't, we're not going to leave messages just sitting in the DM log forever. No, we try to get back as quickly as we can to people, especially because people are wanting to book us and stuff like that. We try to respond as quickly as we can. So that's the best way to hit us up is through Instagram.
Same question for your cosplay. Do you have separate cosplay socials, or do you? And what's your next cosplay going to be? And you're appearing at a con as a guest. Is that your first guest experience?
Yeah, so yeah, next cosplay I'm gonna try for is gonna be oh, I knew what it was. It slipped my brain. Um there's a there's a anime that came out in the last few years called Banana Fish, and me and a friend are gonna try to do some cosplays from that pretty soon, which are pretty simple. There's no builds or anything like required that. It's just really simplistic stuff. Um but we're going to try to do that. And yeah, the next confirmed con is going to be the one in El Paso, which is going to be Southwest Anime Con. Um, and yeah, it's going to be really fun. Me and a bunch of voice actor friends are going to be hitting up because we all do that on the side as well. It's kind of a thing I have that I do in my off time. And we're all going to be guests there. I've appeared in a few independent films and also for the music and stuff like that. And it's a first year con, so they're just looking for people to round out the guest list. And I was told, hey, you should go hit up these people, see if they're interested. And they were immediately, I gave them my resume and they were immediately interested like that. So,
Well, man, tell me about that. What your voice acting as well, and what have you voice acted in that, you know, anything we can look up?
nothing really proper, just a lot of independent stuff. So I'm a part of. There's one of them that I co-founded. It just started, so there's not much to it. We did just release something this week. That's our first big edited project. If you're familiar with like abridged projects, like Dragon Ball Z abridged, Hellsing abridged, stuff like that, we do. We're working on stuff like that, and we just released the first episode of an abridged series for a '90s anime called Gunsmith Cats. It's going to be a two-part. We just released the first one. That's going to be under Chapter Black Media. And then I'm a part of another voice acting group called Nimbus Tales. And we are working on several other projects. Actually, I'm going to be filming some live action projects for it soon as well. And we're all kind of from all over the country. Hell, there's some people in that group that are overseas. So it's kind of a big, big thing for us. And yeah, I do a lot of just, part-time voice acting. We do a lot of like gags and stuff like that too. It's just something that kind of fell into my life last year in September. I discovered these group of people, and it's really kind of taken my life in a direction I never thought it would go. And I've met so many people because of it. And yeah, it's just one of those things that's really helped me kind of flourish my wings creatively. It's a lot of fun too.
Sure. Voice acting is I mean, all of the voice actors we book for our shows are from Texas. So that's like
because they're all from Funimation. Yeah.
yeah, everybody lives over in Texas. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Why are all these voice actors in Texas? Oh, Funimation.
Yeah. They all just spawn here.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out for a while. Then I was like, oh wait, yeah, that makes sense.
They're all either from Texas or they're from Canada because they're the remnants of like Saban and Ocean and stuff like that. And they're the remnants from Canada and then down here in Texas.
Right, no doubt. All right, well, good. You got a lot going on, and I look forward to seeing what you have in the future. And we'll post this, and we'll try to keep updated with what you got going on. Always let us know what's happening with the band, and hopefully, when you're touring, we'll get to see you over here in Florida.
No, sounds excellent. If you ever need a show booked or anything like that, let us know. We will make the trek because that's the most important part about being in a band is trying to network outside of your area. Because that's my big goal with this band is to get fans in other states. Because like if you just keep playing DFW, you're only going to be popular in DFW, and we want to expand. I want to try to turn this into something that we can realistically like help make a living off of. That's the goal, at least at the end of the day, is to be that be somewhat quasi successful. I hope.
Oh, the best for you. I do. I hope the best for you, and we'll definitely keep up with it. And we'll see you soon.
Sounds excellent.
Thanks.